Well, hey, Pache. I'd like to welcome everybody. This is Lukewarm Water. I'm here at station NDN within the Osage Nation lands, talking to my good friend Chuck Roast over here. We've been sitting here talking about what is an Indian, and we're trying to figure that out. Uh, and that is a question. What is an Indian? Uh, I'm saying INDN, but non-native people will probably say Indian, or they might just say Injun. My name's Lukewarm Water, and we're going to try to figure this out here. So if you can just kind of bear with us, this is my first question to everybody is, what does an Indian look like? Does Indian have one big eye right in the middle of his forehead? Does he have 16 ears or 37 lips? I don't know.
Maybe it looks like you. Maybe it looks like me.
Or maybe it looks like that corn dog from the Cleveland Indians, or the noble warrior from Florida and those in the Seminoles, or it could look like a Hollywood stereotype, with a noble red man, or the mystical metaphysical fool, or the aged grandpa. Oh, speaking of gorgeous. If any of you want to write in and get a picture of Lukewarm Water here at station INDN, I'll be happy to send you one. I look like a cross between Brad Pitt and Broken Feather from the cartoon. However, my wife Minnie Paul, she said I look more like Broken Feather. Does the Indian have brown skin? Is that light skin? Does he have long hair, short hair? I think today you can be identified as Indian no matter what you look like. I know guys who practice traditional beliefs and they have long hair, they have beards. I know some guys that have white beard. Anyway, so we're trying to figure this out. Maybe you guys can help us, and I've been, like I said, been talking to Chuck, and Chuck is kind of asking me questions once in a while, and we have people running all over the country trying to figure out, how to get their so-called Indian card. What is an Indian card? Well, indigenous peoples here in the United States, we're the only people in the world who has to have an ID card as to what the government allows us to be. Without that card, we wouldn't be entitled to exist. So, and that makes us, technically less than human beings. We're still on the same level as being equated with animals. So one of the things we will not try to do today is use the term tribe. Tribe is a zoological term, and I'm going to try not to use that, and just use indigenous and native peoples. So again. One of the things I want to say, and first right off the bat, is that we are not Indians. We are indigenous peoples. We are native to this land, of this continent, and there are other indigenous peoples that are native to that land in South America and Central America. There are indigenous peoples in Australia, New Guinea, and areas like that, in Hawaii. They're indigenous to those lands. Again, I'm not the most intelligent man in the world, but nonetheless, I am a man. Although a lot of people will argue that point. People ask me, say, "Hey, what nation are you? What tribe are you?" And I tell them, I'm Chickadee. And one of the things that people don't expect to hear, and I always hear from some of the people that I'm talking to, they'll say, "Oh yeah, I've heard of that tribe," but that's their term, and that's how, and they don't realize I'm using English slang, to identify and make fun of that. So anyway, we'll move on and just see what happens. What is a native? I don't know what a native is. I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm Indian this, I'm Indian that." I've heard some people say, "Well, I'm Black Crow, I'm this and that." And they just make things up. And there are so many people wanting to be Indian. And why is that? Is it because all the severe suffering and genocidal efforts have been removed now, and it's okay to be that way? how they identify themselves, and they're all seeking that glorious, wonderful government card that sanctions them to be a human being within the borders of the United States, that the U.S. government allows, is part of that colonization process. And those cards are genocidal cards. Those cards are set up and they identify a certain amount of native blood that you're allowed to have before they stop recognizing you as a native person. So, we're trying to figure this out. And I don't need a card to do and know what I know and be who I am. I don't need the U.S. government's permission. What? Oh, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I've just been handed this note, and we're going to be cutting to some sort of annual Native American spiritual and metaphysical conference. Myself, I truly didn't know that they had these things. But the gentleman who's going to be singing and speaking his name is Singing Bird Lips. But anyway, it'll give you an opportunity to listen to someone else, and then we'll talk about it after he gets finished. So hope you enjoy, and we'll see you in just a little bit. The song I just sang is a very powerful medicine song, and I encourage each of you to learn it and use it in your healing ceremonies. Yeah, I see that some of you did bring your phones and your recorders. So if at first you can't remember it, as an alternative, you can play the recorder or the phone or the CD, which is all available that you can buy in the lobby for only $25. Now, after singing that song, I want all of you to stand. And if you can't stand, it'll be okay to sit. But I want all of you to feel the power and the energy of spirit. Touch it. Let it fill your body, your heart, your mind. Close your eyes so you can see it. Do you see it? It's a warm, loving, erotic-looking woman with heaving breasts, luscious wet lips, long, slender legs, dainty, soft, sexy feet. See it? Ladies, this is the goddess within. This is what you look like spiritually. And for the men in our audience, this is what your feminine side looks like. And I really, really encourage all you chiefs and medicine men to get in touch with your feminine side of who you really are. Well, let's see. Let me tell you a little about myself. I'm a 4'7" Lightfoot chickadee. My great-great-grandfather was an Indian queen. Excuse me, did I say queen? I'm sorry, I meant to say an Indian king. A chief, if you will. I mean, he was no ordinary Indian, and he was the Indian. He's passed down his medicine ways from generation to generation. Although I never grew up in any Indian community and was never around other Indians, I was still able to receive the medicine ways of my ancestors. I knew that one day I'd be the teacher of the teachers. In one of my many visions I had, I was told this. And my spirit leader is stalking wolf, growling bear, leaping elk, flying eagle. He is the one who gave me the new medicine song to share with you. And again, you can buy the CD in the lobby. I might also add I have a purifying sage spray, pop-up sweat lodge kits, and at-home Sundance kits, which also comes with my new book, Sundancing for Dummies, which you can do in the comfort of your own living room. I also have available something new, which has just been patented and is now on the market. Self-heating sweat rocks. These two are also available in the lobby for a modest sum. Well, anyway, let's talk more about me. I'm going to sing another song that was taught to me by one of my grandfathers. When I started that song, they indicated to me and told me afterwards that they had technical difficulty and could not record that song and it did not broadcast over there, and I really apologize for that. But I'll continue. You can sing this song any time during the celebration ceremony, say like an Indian wedding ceremony or a bar mitzvah sweat. You could also use it in tonight's conference sweat. Now, for the next portion of my presentation, I want to speak of the sacred foundation. This foundation is one of balance and strength. If this foundation is not in good condition, pure and balanced, we are susceptible to imbalance. Thus, when things go wrong in your life, and we have to consider that the imbalance plays a big part in the lack of balance. Now, you can do this with your partner, or you can do this with yourself. No, I'm not talking about anything nasty now. I will ask this beautiful, erotic, spiritual person sitting in this chair over here, just for demonstration purposes. Now, you take your sacred ceremonial painted washing bowl with some water in it. Now, if you're not able to make your own bowl, or a wooden bowl from your closest Pier 1 store will do. But you must remember this bowl has to be painted in the sacred pastel colors of the earth. And if you can't find the traditional pastel paints, well, you can go to Hobby Lobby or a local hardware store. In addition, these paints can also be purchased in the lobby. Your partner places his or her feet in sacred ceremony washing bowl. The sacred foundation must be pure. While working on the foundation, your partner must be breathing with every touch. Breathe in through your nose and exhale out your mouth. Be sure to make the pure foundation noises and a low but high-pitched moan. Now, you must work various parts of the foundation, and especially on both sides of the foundation, that are directly correlated to the sexual organs. Be sure to do this on both feet and then work up the leg. This foundation exercise works well in conjunction with the mating dance I had talked about in one of my previous conference presentations. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give this erotic spiritual person a nice hand for helping with this demonstration. Next, I'll demonstrate. Okay. Look, I can't do this anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, look, I'm not the man you think I am. No, I'm not a flat-chested woman. The truth is, I am not singing bird lips. My name is just plain old Jim. I don't have any mystical name or a name that I've chosen that I thought was super cool. I stumbled over a Native American chat room on the internet, and I just made up the name. I actually wanted to see how far I could take this whole thing about being an Indian medicine man. Like I said, my name is Jim. I am Indian. I'm the real deal. I'm from 2 recognized nations, and I'm also part white, but I just can't prove it. And I've been trying to figure out why all of you have these make-believe Indian names. Like you, Little Belly. At least lose weight if you're going to use that name. I mean, you weigh, what, 350 and you're still growing? Whispering Eagle. I mean, come on. If you're supposed to be from an extinct tribe of Indian, then learn how to say that name in the extinct language. Just so you know, everyone, she asked me how to say Whispering Eagle in Lakota. I told her to learn it in her own extinct language, not Lakota. She responded that there was not anyone left who could speak that language. Duh. What do you think extinct means? You, Whispering Wind. Sounds like you have a gastrointestinal problem. You can also call yourself Farts a lot. And you, Chief Greasy Fingers? When I first met you, I believe you had just finished some greasy chicken. And if you recall, I referred to the fact that, damn, you have greasy fingers, and your response to me was, that'd make a good Indian name.
Now you're Chief Greasy Fingers? Oh, just being a plain old greasy Indian wasn't good enough for you. Where is Walks in Shadows? Oh, there you are. Either you're a thief or a rapist, and I'm leaning toward the latter. Give me a break, man. There's no such thing as sexual techniques of the tribe you come from. In addition, the last conference you attended and you took all those ladies in the sweat, one of them was a nun. I had to laugh because she had a puzzled look on her face when she came out. I asked her, is something wrong? Her only comment while rubbing her breast was, man, those spirits had the biggest lips I've ever felt. I guess priest lips just aren't big enough for her. Shooting Star Woman, you're probably one of the few even who come close to the real name. Unfortunately, your reference to Shooting Star is only in connection with your orgasms. I mean, come on. Do we really need names like Fire Burning in Water, Blue Light, Dove Lips, Rose with Punches, Walks with Dogs, Possum Turtle? Give me another break. Bear Soldier, Indian Princess, you sound like you're a transvestite. Holding Division. Oh, come on. You know, I never heard of any real names. Why can we not just be ourselves? Why do we have to hide in order to be someone? Are we so desperate that we will believe anything we hear as long as it reinforces our own hidden identity? Take, for example, that first song I sang. You remember, I made it up. An hour before I came out, I made it up. I took several different things, put it together in a melody, and sang just vocals. You know, it just sounds based on some words. But no real words in the song. While I'm cleansing my soul, you know, there is no mating dance. I made this up. Just like I did the Sacred Foundation portion. I just wanted to play with those gorgeous legs. Again, you can see that we are so desperate for something that we will subject ourselves to anything and let others do as they please with us. Being part of a powwow can be a good thing. They are fun and it helps you get in touch with native culture. So at least learn how to dance. You know, I've been thinking about this for some time. Perhaps now what I can offer is just the suggestion that we can all stop the phony mysticism, stop the sexual abuse, and stop the bastardization of real spirituality. Not to mention the financial proselytizing of what real Indian people believe. Let's set our egos aside and go back to being who we really are. John, Mary, George, Beth, or Richard, and Paula. And as for me, I'm beginning to like who I am. The guy I grew up with. The guy others really knew. Just plain old Jim.
Well, there you have it. Boy, that was surprising. What do you think, Chuck? That was something that was totally unexpected. This man that was calling himself Singing Bird Lips. That is a funny name.
That is funny.
You know, and comes clean, and his name is just plain old Jim. I thought that took a lot of courage to, you know, especially on national broadcast, and that you know, he comes out and says, you know, hey, look, I'm really not who I am. So, however, some of the people with those names I thought was kind of amusing. The only one that I thought was pretty interesting, and that I'd like to meet, is that one that's called Shooting Star Woman. You know,
Yeah.
You know, if my wife Minnie wasn't listening, you know, I'd give her my telephone number over the air here,
Hey,
and maybe she'd give me a call.
there you go.
There we go. You know,
Yes.
you know, so I sure make your stars flow. glide across the sky. But maybe that's what we're talking about here when we're talking about what is being an Indian. And that those names that they make up really doesn't make you Indian, and but then again, maybe it helps them identify with their own concept of their national origin. I really don't know how to interpret all that. I admire the man Jim for coming out, admitting that he was a phony. I mean, not necessarily a phony, but he made it all up. Which reminds me, there are a lot of things that people do that they do make up. I've seen several people and they put on a pretty good show, but it's all for $1, and that's monetizing whatever they think that spirituality is. So it's like they can't just be themselves. They can't be humble. They can't. Oh, I had a nerve shock there. Maybe shooting star woman is trying to get at me telepathically.
Hey. There you go.
They're not going into spasms.
Well, it's the idea that they tell themselves this so much, it comes truth to them too.
Well, yeah, I think people who are trying to convince themselves that it's okay do these sorts of things. So and it does become a truth to them, even though you can see that is not a truth. I have come across some interesting people in my life who have been given me different names and stuff, and they didn't make any sense at all. And people ask me what my name is, and I tell them it's Luke. And I said, lukewarm water. They don't know whether to laugh or be serious, And I said, oh, it's my name, I have a little respect for the individual.
That's right.
So
your name is your name.
Yeah, I wouldn't make fun of Leroy or Shonda or any other name. So
yeah, they wrote a song about Leroy.
Yeah, who, Leroy Rogers? Yeah, I used to ride with him, and that Navajo rock and roll band. You remember that band? Now, I used to hang out with those guys too, but anyway, so that's what we've actually been talking about, and we're talking about before we had to cut into that conference, and one of the things I think we can continue to do is kind of keep taking a look at this and see how do we identify, how do we interpret, how do we project ourselves as being native without being phony about it or trying to appear to be more than what we really are. It's really a difficult thing to do, and everybody has an opinion, and everybody is truly entitled to them. So I think that's one of the things that we're all going to have to put up with, no matter what.
That's stereotyping. It just is.
But the bastardizing of the belief, I think, is the biggest negative that we're going to be dealing with, and it's going to be thrown in our face constantly. We follow the way, the traditional peoples follow the way of what is identified as the pipe. And I'm constantly asking, what do they smoke in that thing? A lot of non-native people and even some Indian people think we smoke drugs and marijuana and everything else in those pipes, but it's not, it's different kinds of tobacco that different nations use as ceremonial tobacco in those pipes, and it didn't have any hallucinogenics in it, didn't have anything that would alter anyone's perception other than just sending those prayers up to whatever the Creator is. And that's all it's used for, is a tool of prayer, to communicate with the Creator, communicate with Wakantanka or Wakonda. Those things, are extremely important, because we don't have that ability to talk directly to the Creator. We can talk through their helpers, or the Creator's helpers, and they can take those prayers to wherever they need to be and answer those prayers. But we truly know that in that, it's not a man who answers those prayers. It's not a human being, because we're capable of falling down. And speaking of falling down, when I get home, I just got a note sent to me. My wife called and told me if I better be quiet if I want to come home tonight. So, Minnie, I'm truly sorry. I'm traditional, and traditional Indians, we have more than one wives.
I don't even have one.
The problem is, it's hard enough to make one woman happy, let alone more than one.
There we go.
So I'm not that traditional, and so as long as I can keep Minnie happy, put a smile on her face,
that lets you have a smile too.
that keeps a smile on my face, because I know I'm not going to be the guy who turns in with rolls with punches. All right. Well, this is station INDN, station NDN on the Osage Nation lands, and we're going to be signing off here, and we'll talk to you next time, and we'll be discussing possibly an extension of this discussion, or we'll decide and incorporate a new topic into the matter. So you guys be good. As Wajaji people say, "Thay Wahoin Pahali Got Happy," which means keep respect first in your life, or keep respect in front of you. And you guys have a good day, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Signing off.